TMZ has learned Nicki Minaj is dealing with a very scary situation after cops rushed to her LA mansion when a stranger wandered into her property.
You know how they are trying to press Jay-Z to be called in for questioning for the Epstein files, right? Now, what people are alleging is Rihanna is a key material witness into this whole trafficking scheme.
We do know that Nicki Minaj is after Jay-Z. We do know that other content creators, which I will not name, is continuously daily after Jay-Z. So there is a movement to bring down Jay-Z and Rock Nation.
In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental.
We really need to talk about what is happening in Hollywood right now with all the shootings and break-ins, because this is getting way too strange. First, there was that terrifying incident weeks ago when a woman lit up Rihanna's house while her 3 kids were inside. And now, Nicki Minaj just had a man arrested after he tried to break into her mansion in the middle of the night. Is it just a coincidence? Or is someone sending a message to Rihanna and Nicki to fall in line and keep quiet because things are about to blow over for someone? Well, Nicki has been screaming from the rooftops lately that there are people who want to silence her forever, and she even directly accused Jay-Z's company Rock Nation of tracking her movements and staging swatting incidents to intimidate her. As for Rihanna, she's still officially signed to Rock Nation, both as an artist on the label and under its management. However, it's clear Rihanna has no interest in making music anymore, and she's been keeping her distance from Jay-Z for years. So could it be that both Nicki and Rihanna are being targeted because they know too much? Well, their fellow celebrities are speaking out, and it looks like a lot of them are convinced these incidents are not just the work of random stalkers.
Things are getting very scary because people have now put together that both Rihanna and Nicki Minaj's homes in California have both been targeted recently.
Alright, let's first talk about what just happened at Nicki's mansion in Calabasas. According to NBC Los Angeles, on Wednesday, April 1st, a man was arrested for allegedly entering Nicki's property and trying to break into her house. The suspect, identified as 36-year-old Leland Adams, was warned by Nicki's security to stay away, but he refused to leave. The security team detained the man until deputies arrived. And this isn't the first time Nicki's home in California was targeted. She's been hit with multiple swatting attempts and even false reports to the CPS about her son being in danger. And Nicki didn't stay quiet about it either. In fact, she claimed these attacks were being orchestrated by someone powerful in the music business. Nicki wrote, "When you have snitches in high places of the music industry who don't want you to win but realize they can't stop you because God's anointing in my life is very real. Funny how this person hasn't been found, mentioned, arrested, nada." So first Rihanna has her house shut up by an obsessed fan with an AR-15. And just weeks later, a man tries to break into Nicki's house? And by the way, that whole Rihanna story was very sketchy because the feds never explained how the hitter, Ivana Ortiz, who worked as a speech pathologist, had the resources to drive a Tesla and obtain an AR-15. Those aren't cheap or easy to get. And how did she even know Rihanna's address? And there's actually been a lot of speculation online that Ivana wasn't working alone, that she was either a patsy or someone who was paid to take the fall. What's also strange is that Ivana Ortiz has an active case against Live Nation, the parent company of Rock Nation. And yes, it's possible that this incident and what happened to Nicki Minaj are completely unrelated. But if you ask industry veterans like Cat Williams, nothing is coincidental in this business of pretend. According to Cat, the real puppet masters behind the scenes want you to look at the surface level, so you never dig underneath. The public sees the crazy stalker narrative and just moves on. And while everyone's distracted, the people who allegedly ordered the hit can sit back, relax, and watch their patsy take all the blame.
I'm saying that everything that happens in a business that's based off of pretend that seems like a setup is. In business, nothing is coincidental, or you would be hearing who's losing money. In all of these situations, it's only the artist that's losing. Somebody makes big money. When these rappers get killed, not incidental. Somebody made $100 million and now don't have to talk to that artist or none of their crew. Don't have to validate none of their contracts. Now only got to deal with the mama, only got to see her once a year, and it's over. And the money goes up and up and up. So they killed this $20 million guy, but they reaped $60 million in benefits.
Wow.
And they had some people from your city do it.
And then there's DL Hughley, who's been very critical of Roc Nation. Maybe not in the same way as Nicki Minaj, but he definitely made it clear that he doesn't trust Jay-Z's company and the people who signed Jay's check. And according to DL, these people might be the same ones whose names appear in those files.
I think that the fact that powerful men, listen, I'm not saying pedophiles didn't exist in every community, but these pedophiles had resources. And they bought an island, and they took in there. Even if you didn't believe that there was any connection to it, which I think is strange credulity, doesn't it say something about your judgment that you would hang around somebody who was that?
Meanwhile, more celebrities are reacting to these scary incidents involving Nicki Minaj and Rihanna. 50 Cent showed his support for Nicki after she directly accused Roc Nation and Jay-Z of trying to harm her. 50 wrote, "LOL, what the F did they do to Nicki? I like when she get mad." Also, let's not forget that 50 previously hinted he wanted to do a Diddy-style documentary on Jay-Z, and this happened shortly after DOJ released those fields and Jay's name popped up in them. No, the thing about that Nicki Minaj incident, with the exception of 50 Cent, most celebrities are refusing to show her any support, and that's because of her recent political endorsement. However, some fans are speculating that Nicki cozied up to MAGA out of desperation and fear after multiple alleged attempts on her life. In fact, Nicki hinted in a recent interview that something happened a few months back that apparently made her realize they were really trying to silence her for good.
And then there was something that happened a few months ago that if I wasn't going to do it before, something happened a couple months ago.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, but I'll say that sometimes people can push you so much that they push you all the way into your next calling, into your next blessing, into your next life.
Also, how come no one is giving the same energy to Jay-Z and Beyonce for dining with Trump's daughter and son-in-law? And did we also forget that it was Trump who pardoned the Roc Nation CEO and Jay-Z's right-hand woman, Desiree Perez? So it seems hypocritical that all these celebs are hating on Nicki for endorsing Trump, and they're refusing to show her any support after those targeted attacks. But these same celebs are cozying up to Jay-Z, and it's like they're scared to say anything negative about him, even though he clearly also has connections with the Trump administration. Now, circling back to Rihanna, she's mostly stayed out of politics, and she's also distanced herself from the music industry. And there's actually been a lot of speculation on why Rihanna stopped making music. Some fans believe she simply got tired of it and wanted to focus on building a family with A$AP Rocky. And then some people were gossiping that Rihanna damaged her voice from all those years of heavy partying. But in light of this incident, fans are starting to wonder if Rihanna left the music industry because she witnessed something truly dark. Keep in mind that Rihanna was just 16 when Jay-Z flew her out from her native Barbados to New York City. She was then left alone in a room with him with no parental supervision, and he kept her there until 3 a.m. and wouldn't let her leave until she signed the contract.
He said, "We don't sing songs here, we sing artists." And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, "And we're interested." And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, you did your homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, Miss Lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So when Rihanna was 16 years old, she flew across country, had a meeting with Jay-Z, where he told her there's only two ways out of here, and that's through that door with the deal signed, or through the window, and we're on the 29th floor. And she was 16 years old. I don't really see the humor.
And then if you watch some of those old clips of Rihanna and Jay-Z, it all looks very creepy in hindsight. Like that time Rihanna won her first Grammy, and just as she was about to thank her father, Jay-Z interrupted and made her thank him instead.
Dad, I know I promised you I'm going to give you my first Grammy, but we might have to fight for this one.
She said she wanted to thank everybody for her first Grammy.
Anyway, I'd like to thank Jay-Z for being a part of this record with me.
She liked to thank Jigga Man for being the greatest in the world.
And it all starts to feel even more disturbing when you think about how Jay-Z has a long track record of getting close to girls of a particular age. It's like there is something with this 16-year-old thing. He met Beyonce when she was 16, Foxy Brown was around that age when there were rumors about her and Jay, and even the mother of Jay-Z's rumored son, Rymir Satterthwaite, was 16 when he got with her. And then after all that, Jay-Z's name pops up in those files. And just weeks later, two of his artists, Rihanna and Nicki Minaj, are targeted at their homes. Now, I'm not claiming there's a definite connection here. We're just speculating. But at some point, you have to wake up and see the system for what it is. Everything from politics to the music industry is corrupt to its core. And after everything we've learned about how those in power operate, you really can't put anything past them. But I want to hear your thoughts on all this. Do you think there's a connection between the shitting at Rihanna's house and the Nicki Minaj break-in incident? Are they really being targeted by someone in the industry? Leave all your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next video.